Allah is my heart's speech, your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Dear brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to this new episode of Ask Huda. You can call in and post your questions as you see the numbers inshallah appearing at the bottom of the screen. From the emails, Sister Aisha, she sends a question saying that, can a nursing mother make up her fasting with feeding the needy? The majority of scholars say that a pregnant woman or a nursing woman, when they break fasting because they are unable, when they do not fast because they are unable or they're afraid for their child, they must make up for these days afterwards when the reason has gone, and they differ whether they should add to that fidya or feeding the needy or not. And the most authentic opinion is that all what they have to do, even if this was 5-10 years down the line, they only have to make up for the days without the need of feeding. Though there is another opinion that two of the companions of the Prophet ﷺ used to act upon, and that is I think Abdullah ibn Umar and Ali ibn Abi Talib, may Allah be pleased with them all. They used to say that a nursing woman and a pregnant woman may feed without having to make up, but the majority of scholars say that this is not the correct and it is not the most authentic opinion of scholars. Brother Dimosthenes from Germany, I hope I pronounced his name right, he says that he's a new convert to Islam. Alhamdulillah, may Allah Azza wa Jal bless you and make you steadfast on the deen of Allah Azza wa Jal. And he is finishing his master's in biology. He wants to pursue his path in tasawwuf, both as a scholar through a PhD and as a murid. Where should I go? Brother, tasawwuf is something innovated. It is not related to the authentic Islam that is based on the Quran and the Sunnah. So neither the Prophet ﷺ was a mutasawwif, nor his companions, nor the first three best generations. So the Prophet ﷺ, when he said, the best of generations is my generation, and that generation that follows it, and that generation that follows it, the three blessed generations, the generations of the Sahaba, of the Tabi'een, and of those who followed them, never we had this issue of tasawwuf related to the Quran and to the Sunnah. So if the Prophet did not do it and the companions did not do it, then definitely it is not something to pursue or to study or to become a scholar. It's an innovative thing. And to spend your life doing such a thing is a waste of time. Not only that, it would divert you from the straight path that you always in your prayer say, guide us to the straight path. Because it has a lot of deviant thoughts that has come into it, and they claim that it is part of Islam, and it has nothing to do with Islam. Ishfaq from Saudi Arabia.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Yes, bro.
Ramadan Mubarak to you, to all our brothers and sisters in Islam.
Jazakallah khair.
Okay. Sheikh, I have two questions. One is regarding Ramadan.
Okay.
In case if a person is getting sick, he has to give a fidya, and then he has to fast later on after the Ramadan month.
Okay.
And the second question is regarding Umrah. After completing the Umrah for women, cutting their hair, but somebody says that they cannot do it by themselves. It has to be done by somebody else because they are in the state of ihram. Is it right or wrong?
I will answer your questions, inshallah.
Thank you.
Sister Asia.
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I have one question, Sheikh.
Okay.
If suppose someone missed the Sunnah Salah before Fajr, and the time for Fajr comes and a Qamat comes and he has to go for the Fajr Salah and he missed the Sunnah Salah, can he pray after finishing the first Salah, or he has to wait till the sunrise and then he has to pray? Jazakallah khair.
Jazakum. Nabil from Saudi Arabia.
Hello.
Yes, brother Nabil.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
I have a question regarding the traveling prayers, like combining the prayers Asr Maghrib and shortening of the prayers.
Okay.
How many days we valid and what is the correct way? Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Akhi. Okay, Brother Ishfaq from Saudi Arabia. He's asking two questions. The first one is a patient. When is he sick? Does he give fidya and then make up? We've talked about this before. Any person who's sick or who has a legitimate reason for not fasting, if he's going to recover in the future, inshallah, and he'll be able to make up, there is no feeding. There is no fidya for him. All what he has to do is wait until he is fit enough, and then he makes up for the days that he had missed. Those who are too old to fast, they are so fragile, they're so tired, they can't fast, or those who are chronically or terminally sick, in the sense that the doctors say you will never recover until you die, and you have to take these medication, you cannot fast at all. Only these two are allowed to skip days of Ramadan and feed a poor person every day they miss. And the amount we've mentioned is 1.25 kilograms approximately of rice. Or you may cook food and give it to the poor, and this would do. His second question was about Umrah, whether women or men. After concluding the Umrah and finishing it, we know that we have to, for men, shave or cut short. And for women, they have to gather all their hair and cut this much short of it, and then they can resume their normal life, in the sense that there are nothing forbidden for them as it used to be when they were in the state of ihram. They can change their clothes, they can put perfumes, they can the men can wear shirts, trousers, whatever they want to do. So the misconception among the Muslims is that they think that those who are in the state of ihram are not allowed to cut the hair of another person in the state of ihram. And this is baseless. If I'm in the state of ihram, I'd like to cut my wife's hair, no problem. If she cuts my hair, this is no problem. We are both in the state of ihram. There's nothing wrong in that at all. Probably who brought up this misconception was a person who owns a barber shop. He didn't want business to go bad. Asya. Okay, Khalil from Saudi Arabia. I think we've lost Khalil. We have Abdurrahman. Abdullah from Bahrain. Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
From Bahrain.
Yes, Abdullah. What can I do for you?
Ramadan Mubarak, Sheikh. How are you?
I'm fine, Jazakallah khair.
Regarding itikaf, I want to know something. In Asian parts of in Asian countries, they don't have the facilities of mosque. So those women, they are sitting home and they are keeping itikaf, brother. Is this the proper way?
Okay.
Or if they are, is this allowed, then what are the conditions and how they have to maintain their itikaf inside their homes?
I will answer your question, inshallah.
Jazakallah. Assalamu alaikum.
Asya is asking about Sunnatul Fajr. We know that Fajr has 2 rak'ahs, Sunnah, to be prayed before it. And the Prophet ﷺ highlighted its importance when he said that these 2 rak'ahs of Sunnah are far greater and more valuable than the whole world. So, in another narration, it's more valuable than whatever the sun rises over, which means the whole world again. So it's very important and valuable. So she says that if someone did not pray it, and it was time for iqamah, for the call of Fajr prayer itself, and we know that it is wrong and it is unacceptable. A lot of the Muslims do this, by the way. If you enter the masjid and the iqamah is being called, you find people rushing to one of the pillars of the masjid and praying sunnah. This is not permissible, and their prayer is invalid. Because the Prophet said, alayhi salam, whenever the iqamah is being called, there is no prayer accepted except this prayer that the iqamah is calling people for. Therefore, she says, what to do? Can we pray it afterwards? Can we pray qada makeup for these two prayers, 2 rak'ahs afterwards? The answer is yes. And the evidence is, the Prophet ﷺ, when he finished his Fajr prayer once, and he looked at the companions, he saw a man praying on his own 2 rak'ahs. So he went and stood by him, and saying in a reprimanding voice, is Fajr 2 rak'ah? Is Fajr 2 rak'ahs? And the man completed his prayer quickly and then said, O Prophet of Allah, I came out of my house and I did not pray the 2 rak'ahs of voluntary prayer. And when I came to the masjid, the salah was already established. So I joined you. And when I finished, now I'm making up for these 2 rak'ahs. The Prophet ﷺ did not elaborate, which means that this was by itself a sunnah. And the Prophet ﷺ approved him. One could also have another alternative, and that is, he could pray it after sunrise. So you have these 2 options. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Okay, Fahim from Denmark.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaykum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Sheikh, is reading Dua Qunut is compulsory in witr prayer?
I will answer your question, inshallah. Any other questions? Okay. Wa jazak akhi. Abdullah from Nigeria. Abdullah from Nigeria.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaykum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaykum assalam wa rahmatullah.
I have one question.
Yes.
Is it permissible to recite 2 surahs in a single rakat?
Okay. Okay. Abdullah fi nafs rak'ah. So, Brother Nabil was asking about combining and shortening a prayer for a traveler. What is the time span? What is the period that a person is allowed to combine and shorten the prayer? The answer is, it is not specified. Okay, if it's not specified, then the sky's the limit. The answer is no. It depends on your condition. The minute you become settled and you feel that you have taken the same position of a residing person, then you have to complete your prayers. And I'll give you an example. I travel to the UK. Sometimes I stay for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, depending on the tour. Throughout the 3 weeks, I shorten my prayers, unless I pray in the masjid. Unless there is a masjid next by, then I have to pray in the masjid and I pray with the imam. But generally speaking, I shorten my prayers, even if I stay there for a month. But if I'm going to study there, or if I'm going to work there for about 6 months, a year or so, and I get an apartment and I furnish it, and I'm accustomed to going to the masjid and coming back, maybe after 3 or 4 weeks, I will start to complete my prayers and not shorten and not combine. Why? Because I would feel that I have become a resident. I am settled and everything. I'm not a traveler. But someone who is going for vacation for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and he's traveling from here and there, even if he's not traveling, he's going to stay in a hotel or somewhere, then he can combine and shorten the prayer. It is best for him to pray prayer on time, but he has the permission to combine. So if you're sitting in your hotel room, Maghrib and Isha, it is best to pray Maghrib on time, Isha on time. This is what Allah Azza wa Jal prefers and loves best for you. But if you're going out, if you have a reason, you're going shopping, and you don't think that you'll be able to perform wudu and pray properly, you may combine, and no problem with that. Mahmoud from Nigeria.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Ramadan Kareem to you.
Ramadan Mubarak to you as well.
Please. Yeah, I have a question concerning the perfume.
Concerning what?
Deodorants we are using.
Okay, deodorants.
Most of them, when you check the ingredients they use in the deodorant, they contain
alcoholic.
Most
Yes.
especially the perfume. What should we do? Is it Can we use them like that, or I don't know. I'm confused about them.
Okay, I will answer.
Some of the scholars, when you ask them here, some say it's okay since it is not something you put in your body, you eat. Some say it is haram. Since alcohol is haram.
I will answer your question, inshallah.
I want you to explain more for
Okay, inshallah. Abdullah was asking from Bahrain about i'tikaf. She says from in the subcontinent, in India, Pakistan, etc., the masjids are not equipped for females to pray in. So she cannot make i'tikaf in the masjid. Can she make i'tikaf in the house? And the answer is no. Allah Azza wa Jal mentioned the i'tikaf to be in the masajid in the Quran in chapter 2. And it cannot be in a prayer hall. It cannot be in a masjid in a mall or in an office. Even if it's a prayer hall or a small masjid, as long as it is not a proper masjid, it is not permissible for you to make i'tikaf there. And definitely it is not correct to make i'tikaf in your house, because the place of the i'tikaf is in the masjid. So what to do? Nothing. If you cannot find a masjid that is properly equipped, and it doesn't have to be properly equipped, you can put a section at the end of the masjid and put curtains to cover you, and you can stay there. This is what the people used to do at the time of the Prophet ﷺ. They did not have a segregated place for women and segregated place for men. It was the back of the masjid and the front of the masjid, and that was it. There were no chambers. So if you make your own chamber by curtains or a small tent, and they allow you to do this and you're safe, this is permissible. Otherwise, it cannot be except in the masjid. Okay. Sister Bilal from the Emirates.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Sheikh, I have a device, iPhone 4S, and I did a jailbreak for it. So all the paid applications are free for me. Is it allowed to do such a thing?
Okay, I will answer your question, inshallah. Brother from, wallahi, I forgot. I think Fahim, yes. From Dubai, I think also from Dubai. He is asking about the ruling on Dua al-Qunut. Allahumma hdina fi man hadayt. What is it? Is it mandatory in Salah? The answer is no. The Prophet ﷺ was never reported to us that he had done Dua al-Qunut in witr. Because we know that he prayed only 3 or 4 nights in Ramadan. And then he stopped because he was afraid that Allah would mandate it to us. Though he preferred it and liked it, but he didn't want to burden his ummah. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So it was not reported that he gave the Dua of al-Qunut during witr prayer. The only evidence was in the hadith of Hassan ibn Ali, may Allah be pleased with him and with his father, when he taught the Prophet, when the Prophet taught him, he was a young child of 7 or 9 years of age, and the Prophet taught him this short clip, Allahumma hdini fi man hadayt wa afini fi man afayt, 2.5 lines maybe. And that is it. So scholars say, is it mandatory? No one says it's mandatory. So is it recommended? Scholars differed. Some say it is recommended all the time. Some say it's not recommended at all. And some say it is okay to do it once every a while. So if you do it a couple of days and skip a day so that people know that it is not part of witr, that is much better. In Taraweeh, we've seen that the people have gone into extreme. So the last rak'ah is Qul huwallahu ahad, only this short. And then Dua al-Qunut, they prolong it for half an hour. My shoulders break. I feel fatigue. I have problems with my back and my knees, and I start shivering. Half an hour? What are you doing? The Friday sermon is shorter than this. And the people are shouting Ameen because they're tired. They're fed up. And the imams keep prolonging the dua. This is not part of the sunnah, and definitely it is a place of showing off. The dua is very concise. Abdullah ibn al-Mughaffal, may Allah be pleased with him, heard his son saying, "Oh Allah, grant me the White House to the people when they enter the Jannah, to the right." And his father, may Allah be pleased with him, said, "My son, what are you doing? Ask Allah for Jannah and seek refuge from in Allah from hellfire. Don't be specific. The White House on to the right of the Jannah when people enter gate number 4. What is this? You've not seen this. Because I've heard the Prophet ﷺ say that there will come people from my ummah who would make an act of oppression. They would wrongdo themselves by exaggerating in the dua and in wudu, as the Prophet said, alayhi salatu wassalam. Abdullah from Nigeria. Muhammad from Saudi Arabia.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
How are you, Shaykh?
Hayyak Allah, I'm fine, jazakallah.
God give you good health, inshallah.
And you too, and all our viewers.
Thank you, sir. This regarding Umrah, after performing finish Umrah, is it okay to cut the hair from all 4 sides of hair, or is it necessary to make machine all over the hair? Is it acceptable just to cut short little by little? What's the rule on this?
I will answer your question, inshallah.
Thank you, Shaykh.
Yeah, hayyak Allah. Brother Abdullah from Nigeria was asking on the ruling of reciting 2 surahs in the same rak'ah. And the answer is, the Prophet ﷺ prayed night prayer once with the companion, and the companion reported that the Prophet recited in the first rak'ah, Surah Al-Baqarah, Al-Nisa and Al-Imran. So the Prophet not only recited 2 surahs in one rak'ah, he recited 3 surahs, and one of the longest of the whole Quran. Therefore, this answers your question. If you would like to recite in the, and also in the hadith in the Bukhari and elsewhere, where the Prophet appointed ﷺ one of his companions to lead an expedition, and whenever he led the prayer with his companions, he used to recite a surah and Qul Huwallahu Ahad as well. And they told him, either choose the first one or Qul Huwallahu Ahad, don't combine. And he said, this is what I want to pray. If you like it, alhamdulillah. If you don't, let someone else pray instead of me. And when they told the Prophet ﷺ, the Prophet approved of it. So I hope this answers your question. Mahmoud from Nigeria, she's saying that most of the deodorants we use contains alcohol. And this is a fact. So what is the ruling? Because some scholars say it's haram, some scholars that say halal. If you understand where they're both coming from, you have no problem, inshallah, in finding the answer. The problem was the difference of opinion among scholars whether wine is physically impure or mentally impure. What does wine have to do with this? Well, they said that the ingredients that intoxicates is alcohol. Hence, alcohol takes the same ruling of wine. And this is completely wrong, but let's hypothetically go with the flow. Is wine physically impure, meaning that if I have a drop of wine on my clothes, can I pray, or it is rendered to be najis, impure? It's an issue of dispute. The most authentic opinion, that it is pure. It is like dropping an orange juice. Now, drinking it is completely haram. It's a major sin. Not only that, carrying it, preparing it, selling it, buying it, all of this, the Prophet cursed whoever deals with wine, with intoxicants, not alcohol, with wine, or things you drink and you get high or you get drunk by. So this is haram. But is it physically impure? The answer is no. And there are a lot of evidences backing this up, especially when the prohibition of wine was made public and final. The Prophet ﷺ ordered them to spill every jug they had of wine, and they used to drink wine like a fish. So they spilled it all in the streets of Medina. If it was impure, the Prophet would told them, ﷺ, you are spilling najasa on the ground, and then you're walking to the masjid, and this is all impure. The Prophet did not order them, ﷺ, to wash the jars or to get rid of it or anything of that sort, which means that it is pure. So now we come to the issue of using perfumes with alcohol or deodorants. Those who say that it is not physically impure, it is pure, then they have no problem, and I'm one of them. Not of the scholars, I'm one of those who follow it. I follow this opinion. It's a very sound and strong opinion. It is pure. So whether you wear your deodorant, whether you put on your perfumes, this is clearly permissible, and you have no problem in that. Yes, you're not allowed to drink it, because anything that has alcohol and it reaches the level of intoxication, it is forbidden for you to drink. If you drink a beer with 2 or 3% of alcohol, and if you drink half a pack, or if you drink half a dozen and it doesn't intoxicate you, it's halal. So the name is not the one that you should care about. It is what actually intoxicates you. Shabir from Oman. Yes, brother Shabir. Wa alaykum assalam wa rahmatullah. Ramadan Mubarak to you and to the viewers.
Sheikh, I have a question.
Okay.
How do I calculate the zakat? Like I have investment which I have, suppose I am making a building and selling. So how do I calculate the amount of zakat? Means it's a market value for today or the invested amount?
Okay. I will answer your question.
The amount I invested according to that 2.5% or the market value of the property which I have to sell, make and sell.
I understand.
To make the property and sell.
I understand your question, inshallah. Abshir. Bilal from the Emirates, she's saying that she has a special brand of phone, and to get applications you have to pay money. So if you jailbreak, if you hack and download something and you do something with your phone, you can download all these applications for free. So is this permissible? The answer is no. Because you are trespassing, you are doing a wrong thing, you are taking something that is not yours. I worked so hard on making my application. It cost me money. So now I'm selling it for $1 or for half $1 or for $5, inshallah for $100. Who cares? It's mine. You come and take it for free through this wrong way of doing it. I believe that this is not permissible for a Muslim to do. Muhammad is asking, when a man makes a umrah, is it enough to just cut a hair from here from 4 places, or must I go to the barber shop and use the machine or shave it completely? Scholars say that you have to shorten all of your hair so that it would appear that you've shortened it. So if you take 4 places, people would not recognize that you've shortened your hair and that you've done umrah. But if you try your level best to take like from 20 or 30 places, different places from your hair, this would definitely appear to have shortened your hair. Okay, Javeed from Saudi Arabia.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salaamullah.
I want to know about the loan that is being provided by Al Raji Bank to non-Saudis. Is it allowed or not? And if it is allowed, on what basis?
Can you explain how are they giving you this loan?
They are explaining to us that they are either buying shares on our name and then they are selling the shares immediately in front of us if we want, and then they are giving us this loan. And then we have to pay them in installments over 3 years or 5 years. But it's a greater amount than what we have taken. But they are saying this is Islamic.
Okay, I will answer your question, inshallah.
Okay.
Hayyakallah. We have a couple of questions, but inshallah, we have also a short break. Stay tuned, and inshallah, we'll be right back.
Don't miss Ramadan's pulse of this Ramadan from Sunday to Thursday, 1 hour before Ask Huda. That's 1 o'clock GMT and 4 o'clock Mecca time, with me, your favorite host Malik, only on Huda TV.
Come join us and have your say. Let's talk about our way. Remember, you are not alone. Huda is the light in your home.
Face Islam.
Muslims everywhere are faced with issues and situations every day. Let's find those solutions together, right here on Face Islam. Won't you join us here for Face Islam?
Face Islam with Sheikh Yusuf address and put all of those misconceptions to rest. Sheikh Yusuf addresses the most common misconceptions one by one and puts the critics to shame.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back. Shabir from Oman, he's asking about a dilemma he's in. They've got this property, it's an investment, they want to give zakat. So how would they calculate the original capital? Is it when they bought the real estate a year ago or today? Is it when they started the investment a year ago or today? Scholars say that when it is time for you to give zakat, you have to give the zakat on the date or the value of today. This can go either way. I could buy a property for $1 million, and a year later, when I'm about to sell it, or I'm evaluating the cost and the value of it, I discover that it is 500,000. So I give zakat on the 500,000. So one would say, yes, but you bought it for $1 million. What counts is today. So 500,000, I'll give it 500,000. And if it doubled or tripled or quadrupled, I started with $1 million, now it's 4 million. I have to give zakat on the 4 million. This is the estimation or the way that zakat is given, not on the original price, but on today's price. Brother Javid is asking about the loan that Al-Rajhi Bank, which is one of the Islamic banks in Saudi Arabia, Rajhi al-Bilad, al-Inman, also Al-Jazeera, they're doing the best. And also there are other banks, alhamdulillah, with the grace of Allah, are all headed to the Islamic transaction field. And he's asking, they give a loan to us, but we have to pay more. So isn't this riba? They say that this is Islamic. See, the problem is people look at the end. They don't look at the process. So if you, for example, use grape to make juice, look at the end result. You can make juice and you can make wine. So if you make juice, it's halal. If you make wine, it's haram. Likewise with loans. When I go to the Rajhi Bank or any Islamic bank and I said, listen, I need 100,000 riyals cash, give me a loan. They say, we don't lend people. So what to do? They said, we can help you by selling you commodities. We can sell you cars, we can sell you real estate, we can sell you shares of different companies in the stock market, and we can take a margin of profit on top of that, and you can pay that in installments. What you do with the thing we sold you, it's up to you. So this is exactly what happens. I go to the bank and I say I need 100,000 riyals, and they say we don't lend people, but what we can do is we can give you something you're interested in buying. Like what? We have shares in Nadic company, and it's Islamic transaction. So they sell dairy products. So you can buy the shares, we sell it for you. Today's value is X, we will take X.5. So if I do this, is this haram? No, it's halal. I'm buying shares. I'm buying cars. Instead of 100,000 riyals worth of a car, I'm paying 120,000 over the duration of 4 years or 3 years. This is halal. One would say, okay, what about the 20,000 extra? Isn't this riba? No, it's not. I'm not lending you 100 and taking it 120. This is my pen. If I give it to you for 10 riyals, and someone else comes and says, how much is your pen? And I say 50 riyals. And I'm selling both people cash. Does anyone has the right to say, why are you taking 40 riyals extra from this one? This is my pen. I sell it for a riyal or for 100 riyals cash. This is my right. Now, if I wish, I can also, instead of sending it for 100 riyals, I can give the man time to pay it in installments. So this is halal completely, and the loan you're asking about is halal, providing that a Rajhi Bank owns what you're buying from him before signing the contract. It's not halal for you to sign that I've agreed to pay so much for a car, this kind of maker, a Japanese car, and then after you sign the contract, they go and buy the car for you. This is completely forbidden. And Al-Rajhi, inshallah, they have a very strong and a committed Sharia board that, inshallah, would not do something, inshallah, that is not permissible. Sister Mehreen from Saudi Arabia.
Assalamualaikum, Sheikh. Ramadan Kareem.
Wa alaikum salam. Ramadan Mubarak is better than Ramadan Kareem because Ramadan is not generous by itself. It's by Allah's gift to it. So Ramadan Mubarak is best, sister. Yes, what can I do for you?
Okay, sorry. I have two questions to ask, Sheikh. Firstly, how many mandatory sunnahs are there before and after the Fajr prayer?
Mandatory?
Yeah, compulsory prayers. Sunnah.
None. Okay, I'll answer your question. Number two.
And second, can we pay zakat to our needy brothers or sisters or children?
Okay, I will answer your question.
Jazakallah.
Wa jazaki. Brother Hamza, Saudi Arabia.
Yes. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
How are you, Sheikh?
I'm fine, jazakallah khair.
أحبك في الله.
أحبك الله الذي أحببتني فيه, jazakallah khair.
Sir, I have two questions.
Okay.
The one question is that my brother asked he's in Riyadh, he asked that when the Imam is making dua, he said Yawm al-Aswada. What is the meaning of that?
Okay.
And second question is that someone has been messaging me, or one of my relatives, that for the first 10 days you have to read Ya Hayyu Ya Qayyum, and for the second days Astaghfirullah, and third 10 days means in each 10 days of Ramadan there is specific dua, first 10 days, the middle 10 and the last 10. Is this authentic or what?
Okay, I will answer your question inshallah.
Jazakallah khair.
Wa jazak akhi. Sister Mehreen is asking about the number of compulsory, mandatory sunan or voluntary prayers. You cannot have mandatory and voluntary at the same time. So the number is 0. The only thing that is mandatory upon us are the 5 daily prayers: Fajr, Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib and Isha. Now there are recommended, highly recommended prayers that the Prophet used to always maintain and pray and observe, alayhi salatu wasalam. But if you don't pray them, you're not sinful. When something is mandatory, if you do it, you're rewarded. If you don't do it, you are sinful. You'll be punished for it. But when something is voluntary, when something is recommended, if you do it, you're rewarded. And if you don't, there's no sin upon you. Therefore, there is no mandatory sunan or rawatib or nawafil at all. Second question, can we give zakat to our needy relatives, brothers, nephews, cousins, etc.? Yes. As long as both of you, there is no inheritance. Yani if one of you dies, he would not inherit the other, then yes, you can give your zakat money to your nephew, to your brother and his family, to your cousins, if they are rendered as poor or needy. Sister Emmy from Emirates. I think we've lost Sister Emmy. So Ali from Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
Yes, brother. Yes, my son.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Mute your television and listen to me from the phone.
Sheikh, I'm 11 years old.
Okay.
I am 11 years old, and sometimes I want to sleep beside my mother. Is it permissible?
Okay, I will answer your question, inshallah. Okay, Hamza from Saudi Arabia, he is asking that sometimes the imams say Al-Yawm Al-Aswad, the black day. So, is this permissible? And what does it mean? Al-Yawm Al-Aswad means a black day. So, I would presume that they are supplicating and they're saying, oh Allah, let us see in Bashar al-Assad and his group a black day, meaning that let it come as a disaster and a catastrophe on him and his companions. Ameen. So is this permissible? It's an issue of dispute. In saying it's a black day, you're not actually condemning or accusing the day of being black, because we know that the Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, do not accuse or do not slander or do not say bad things about ad-dahr. And what is the meaning of ad-dahr? Ad-dahr is time. So when people say that, for example, it's a bad day that I have seen you, I've met you in. May Allah curse the day that we got married. A wife says to her husband. Now when she curses the day that they got married, the day has nothing to do with their lives. She's actually cursing Allah Azza wa Jal, who arranged for them to get married on that day, which is a major sin, and this is not permissible. So when we say, oh Allah Azza wa Jal, show us a black day for this tyrant, then I believe that this is permissible, inshallah, and there's nothing wrong with it. Okay, Amy from the Emirates.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Actually, I'm a Filipino, but I'm here now in UAE.
Okay.
And my question is, where can we give our zakah? Because one of the organizations here, in Islamic organization, the Dawah Center, they said that if you want to give our zakah to them, it is okay for them. Then our question is, because our zakat al-fitr,
yes.
Mm.
Listen to me from the phone. Mute your TV.
Which one is better? We do to the Dawah, we give our zakah. We will give our zakat to the Dawah Center, or we will give to our some of our family in the Philippines, which is they are needy also.
Okay, I will answer your question, inshallah. Brother Mubarak from Nigeria. Brother Mubarak, mute your television and listen to me from the phone, please.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Yeah, Ramadan Mubarak.
And Mubarak to you, akhi, jazakallah khair.
I have a question, please.
Yes.
Here in the UAE, I have some Asian friends. Whenever there's Salatul Subhi prayer, they normally pray Rakat and Fajr before the Subhi prayer.
Okay.
Sometimes the prayer is ongoing, or the Farilla is ongoing, but they tell me that they have to pray the Salatul Fajr before they pray the Fajr prayer. So
okay.
That as far as the Fajr prayer is not off, as in it's not finished, they can pray the Nawafil. So
okay.
I try to inform them that at least so I want you to have to clarify this.
I will clarify it, inshallah azza wa jal. Hayyakallah. Okay, Nadia from Saudi Arabia.
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Salam alaikum.
Ramadan Mubarak.
And Mubarak to you as well.
I want to ask that if a woman is in her period, especially in Ramadan, can she continue reciting Quran without touching, from the computer?
Okay.
And if it is allowed, then what she will do when the sajda comes in reciting in the Quran, the sajda comes, so what she will do if she is in menses?
Okay, I'll answer
My second question is that when we go for Tarawih and the Imam finish Surah Fatiha, and then he starts the next surah. Between that, I get the chance only to recite half of the Surah Fatiha. Shall I complete it, or I will leave it? Or I can recite the same time when he is reciting?
I will answer your question, inshallah.
And when he will get up from ruku and say Sami Allahu liman hamida, we can say this, or we can only say Rabbana wa lakal hamd.
Okay.
And especially in Haram and Masjid Nabi, both things the Imam says. So what shall we do that time?
Okay, I will answer that. Brother Ali from Saudi Arabia, he is 11 years of age, and he's asking, is it permissible for me to sleep next to my mother? If your mother and you are sleeping on the same bed, and you have a different blanket for each of one of you, this is permissible, inshallah. But Ali, you're a grown-up man, 11 years of age, mashallah, you're a man. You shouldn't even allow your mother to tell you, come honey and sleep next to me. You should tell her, Mom, I'm old, I'm a man, I have to sleep on my own bed. But if both of you have a separate blanket, inshallah, there is nothing wrong in that, but reconsider whether you would like to do this again. Hamza's second question that we've skipped, he's asking that one of his friends texted him saying that you have to say this in the first 10 days of Ramadan, then say another dua in the second 10, and then the last third of Ramadan there's a separate dua. Is this true? No, all of this is innovated and has no authenticity to it. Amy from the Emirates, she's saying that Zakat al-Fitr, which is the amount of food we give on behalf of every individual to the poor at the end of Ramadan, 27th, 28th, and 29th of Ramadan, the last 3 or 2 days of Ramadan, and we give it to the poor before the Eid prayer. So she's saying that which is best, to give it to local organizations in Dubai so that they would distribute it to the poor, or send it to our families in the Philippines where we know that they are needy. I would recommend that you give it always wherever you are. So if you're in the Emirates, give it to the Emirates. But if you know that your family, your relatives, your community in the Philippines are far, far in greater need than those here, and you can ensure that it is being distributed only 2 days before Eid prayer. So you don't send it today, and on the 15th of Ramadan they give it away. And at the same time, you don't send it now, and they give it a day after the Eid, because this is not its time. If you can ensure that they will deliver it on the specific time you want to the poor, not after that, then inshallah there is a greater reward in connecting with your relatives and community and in offering them or giving them the Zakat al-Fitr. Mubarak from Nigeria, he's saying that, I think he's in Dubai, he spoke about something that a lot of the people from the subcontinent do. You enter a masjid, the imam is reciting the Fatiha in Surah, in Fajr prayer, and someone comes along with you. Instead of joining the prayer, he goes to the back of the masjid and starts to pray Sunnat al-Fajr. Is this permissible? The answer is no. Is his prayer valid? The answer is no. It's rejected. So he may pray 2 rak'ahs, 10 rak'ahs, Allah will not accept it from him. Why? Because the Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, and this is an authentic hadith, whenever the prayer has been called for, no prayer is accepted except that particular prayer. So your sunnah is not accepted. You should pray it afterwards. You have the permission from the Prophet ﷺ to pray it afterwards. Don't pray it while the imam is praying it. Because logically, even logically speaking, what is more recommended, what is more preferred to Allah Azza wa Jal? The Faridah prayer or your voluntary prayer, Nafil prayer? Definitely the Faridah. But look at what you're doing. You're not praying the Faridah, you're leaving the imam and the congregation to pray on their own, and you may miss a rak'ah, and you may miss the whole prayer, so that only you can pray the sunnah. And this is not logical and not acceptable and not Islamic as well. Nadia from Saudi Arabia, she has a number of questions. Can we recite the Quran while, she's asking the women, can they recite the Quran while they are in their menses? The answer is yes, providing that they do not hold the Mus'haf itself, the Quran. They can read it from the PDAs, from their mobiles, from their laptops. She's asking, okay, what happens if I come to an ayah where there is prostration in it? The answer is prostrate, no problem. Sheikh, she is in her menses, no problem. Prostration for recitation of the Quran or prostration for gratitude, for shukr, these are not prayers, and hence they do not require that you cover your head or cover your body properly or be in the state of wudu or state of tahara, nor to be in the direction of qibla. So if the qibla is like this, I can offer my prostration to this direction, to that direction. There is no problem in that, alhamdulillah. She's asking, the imams don't give us time to recite the Fatiha in Taraweeh. They immediately say غَيْرِ الْمَغْضُوبِ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا الضَّالِّينَ آمين, and they go on to recite the other surah. So what can we do? The answer is, alhamdulillah, as long as the imam has recited it, this is sufficient for you. So you can recite it while he's reciting the second surah, and you can skip, because his recitation is sufficient for you as well. She's saying that the imam says, Sami Allahu liman hamida. So what is the ruling on me saying that? Should I also say, Sami Allahu liman hamida, Rabbana wa lakal hamd? The answer is no. When the imam says, Sami Allahu liman hamida, you only say, Rabbana wa lakal hamd and the following supplications. And the imam is the only one who says both. So the imam or the person who's praying individually on his own, they are the only people who say, Sami Allahu liman hamida, Rabbana wa lakal hamd. The person praying behind the imam only says, Rabbana wa lakal hamd. And we move on to some of the emails. This is from Sister Samira. She says that I am 25 years old and I live in Germany, and I would like to go with my brother who's 20 and my younger sister who is 24. We would like to go for vacation to Paris. Is this permissible? Now the scholars, when they talked about holidays, they were specifically talking about people from the Saudi Arabia, from Muslim countries, going to non-Muslim countries for vacation. And they said that this is not permissible unless there are three reasons that are legitimate. Either they are going there for education that they cannot attain except in that country, non-Muslim country, for medical reasons, for trade, and da'wah as well, to call people to Islam. So this is part of the legitimate reasons. Going there for vacation, they say it's not permissible because you're moving from a Muslim country to a non-Muslim country. Now, in the case of Sister Samira, and she is from Germany, this is the same. So she is in Germany. It's a non-Muslim country. If she goes to France, if she goes to any other European country, it's a non-Muslim country. It's the same scenery. It's the same thing that will happen. So is it permissible or not? To me, it appears to be permissible because it's the same environment. However, is it recommended? I would not recommend it. Because when a person travels, he will be exposed to things that are not found in his locality. So you may see things that are far worse than what is in Germany if you go to France. You may not. So I would not recommend it, but at the same time, I would not say that it is not permissible. Also, from the emails, we have an email from Muhammad Jama. He's asking that well, let me skip that and go to Amir. Amir is saying that his sister is married and she is complaining that while having intimacy with her husband, she fantasizes about someone else who is not her husband. And she says that, what is the ruling on such fantasizing? This is not appropriate. Is it haram? I cannot say it's haram, but it will lead eventually to something haram. When someone is having intimacy with his or her spouse and they fantasize with someone else, the partner does not know about it, but deep down you are fulfilling your desires by fantasizing someone else. Unfortunately, somewhere down the line, this would become an urge, and shaitan would use this to make a person want to pursue the sin, and maybe want to pursue that person, and to look at his pictures, and to read his blogs, and to follow everything that is being said about him, and this becomes an obsession. And a Muslim does not deal in such ways, so one should avoid doing this. Sister Alikat Aziz sent to Fatwa Online an email. She says that she breastfeeds and she's an ulcer patient. And she can fast, but it is very, very difficult to her. And when after iftar, after she breaks her fast, after sunset, she feels this chest pains and stomach upset, and she doesn't know what to do. Again, that same answer applies. If your illness, this ulcer, and the other symptoms that you are suffering from, if the doctors say that they will remain with you until you die, and it is not advisable for you to fast, it is not healthy for you to fast, in this case you should not fast, and you should give fidya and feed a poor person per every day you miss. But if the doctors say that this is temporary, and inshallah you will recover from it, of course, being a breastfeeding mother, this will come to an end sooner, inshallah. About the ulcer, if they say that, alhamdulillah, all the other illnesses will go away, inshallah, with time, with medication, in this case, do not fast, but you must make up for these missed days later on. This is also from Alikat Aziz. She is saying, please, what is the recommended dua during the first 10 days, second 10 days? The same question applies. We've said that there isn't anything as such, and all these du'as are fabricated. The only dua that the Prophet ﷺ told us about, and he taught Mother Aisha, he told her to say, Allahumma innaka afuun tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anni, which is, O Allah Azza wa Jal, you are most forgiving and you love forgiveness, So forgive me. This is from Faiza Hussein. She says, I have a 6-month-old baby girl and I'm providing her my breast milk, but the doctors say it is now time to start solids in combination with breast milk. My question is, according to the tradition of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, when this should be done, isn't it after the baby is 2 years of age, or solids can be given in combination with breast milk before 2 years? The sky, alhamdulillah, is the limit. You can breastfeed your child until it is 2 years of age, and you can combine. Everyone I know of does both, breastfeed and teach the child to take some food in this preliminary stage, not feeding them full course meals, but rather to give them some of it so that they can use it and utilize it. The brother Nasir is asking, let me know the procedure of tahajjud prayer. Let me know the procedure of tahajjud prayer in the Masjid al-Nabawi. Again, we've answered this question yesterday. There are so many questions here, but some of them would require a long time to read, and unfortunately my director is telling me that we are out of time. So until we meet you inshallah next time on Friday next week, I leave you fi amanillah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Allah is my heart's speech, your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the